Beatrix Thompson, the revered elder of a prosperous lineage, departed this world on a stormy autumn night, casting an immeasurable shadow over her family's hearts and the close-knit Charleston, South Carolina community. The relentless downpour seemed to mirror the heavens weeping for the loss of such an extraordinary soul. At the age of 82, Beatrix's life, marked by unwavering strength and unyielding determination, served as an enduring beacon of inspiration to everyone who knew her. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Beatrix embarked on her journey of motherhood alone, raising her first son, Lucas, with steadfast resolve. Born from a fleeting relationship that failed to endure, Lucas became the center of Beatrix's universe. She defied societal scrutiny and judgment, her head held high, as she worked tirelessly to provide Lucas with a dignified life. Years later, fate brought Robert Thompson into her life, a successful businessman who was captivated by her bravery and resilience. Their union was blessed with 2 more children, Peter and Sophia. Despite the joys they shared, their happiness was marred by Robert's untimely death in a tragic car accident, leaving Beatrix to navigate life without her beloved partner. Life pressed on, and while Lucas ventured forth to chase his aspirations, Peter and Sophia remained close to their mother's side, relishing the comforts of a life steeped in luxury. The passage of time was marked by Beatrix's unwavering presence, until that fateful rainy day when the news of her passing spread like wildfire through the town. The community, struck by a mixture of sorrow and intrigue, buzzed with speculation about the fate of her substantial estate. Beatrix was more than a wealthy matriarch, she was a pillar of philanthropy and a symbol of indomitable spirit. In the wake of her death, the family's trusted lawyer, Mr. Armstrong, diligently set about organizing the reading of her meticulously prepared will. Beatrix, ever prudent, had left explicit instructions for her children to gather at her grand mansion, a historical edifice that stood as a testament to her remarkable life. Lucas, now a 45-year-old man, received the news with profound sadness. His bond with his mother was uniquely deep, forged through the values of simplicity and honesty she had instilled in him. The impending gathering at the mansion was not just about the inheritance of wealth, but the legacy of a woman whose life had touched so many. Beatrix's story, from single motherhood to the heights of societal respect, was a tale of perseverance and grace that would continue to resonate within the hearts of her family and community for generations to come. She was a warrior to the end. Lucas choked out, his voice trembling as he spoke with Mr. Armstrong, his eyes lingering on an old photograph of Beatrix cradling him tenderly. Meanwhile, the news of their mother's passing stirred different emotions in his siblings. Sophia, with a spark of ambition in her eyes, eagerly inquired, "What did she leave for us?" Peter echoed her sentiment, adding, "I hope she was fair. We deserve our part." The Thompson Mansion, an epitome of grandeur with its towering columns and meticulously maintained gardens, appeared even more somber under the persistent rain. The gloomy weather seemed to mirror the heavy hearts of Beatrix's children as they arrived at different times, each burdened with their own emotional complexities. The steady drizzle added a melancholic undertone to the scene, reflecting the solemn mood of the heirs. Lucas, the eldest, arrived first. He parked his modest car near the entrance and took a moment to compose himself. Unlike his younger siblings, who were enamored with the allure of wealth, Lucas had always cherished simplicity, devoting his life to social causes. As he gazed at the mansion, a wave of nostalgia and sorrow washed over him. "Mom, I hope you found peace," he whispered, his voice heavy with emotion, before heading towards the entrance. Peter and Sophia, arriving later, were enveloped in their own world of expectations and ambitions. The imposing mansion, with its pristine white columns and lush gardens, stood as a silent witness to their diverse perspectives. Peter, whose life had been a pursuit of opulence, looked around with a critical eye, hoping for a generous share. Sophia, equally driven, followed closely, her thoughts fixated on the inheritance and the legacy that awaited them. The mansion's interior, steeped in history and memories, seemed to embrace Lucas as he stepped inside. He felt the weight of his mother's legacy, a blend of love, sacrifice, and resilience. As he awaited his siblings, Lucas reflected on the life lessons Beatrix had imparted, hoping to honor her memory in his own humble way. Peter and Sophia's arrival, marked by their contrasting desires, set the stage for a poignant family reunion, under the shadow of their mother's enduring influence. Shortly after, Peter arrived in his roaring sports car, its engine announcing his presence with a thunderous growl. He stepped out, exuding impatience, adjusting his expensive suit with a flick of his wrist. "I hope this doesn't take long," he muttered, checking his luxury watch. "I have an important meeting later." Peter's life was a relentless chase for wealth and status, and the idea of wasting time deeply irritated him. Sophia followed closely in an equally lavish car, her elegance masking a steely ambition. "Peter, do you think Mom left something significant for us?" she asked, her voice tinged with cold curiosity as she approached her brother. Peter shrugged nonchalantly. "I hope so. After all, we deserve it." Inside the mansion, the air was thick with tension. Lucas, already seated in the living room, observed his siblings with a calm yet watchful eye. He knew this gathering would not be easy. Peter and Sophia had always distanced themselves from him, viewing him as an outsider in the family. "Lucas," Peter said, his voice dripping with a mix of disdain and forced politeness, "I see you arrived early, eager to find out what you're going to get." Lucas maintained his composure. "I'm here to honor our mother's memory," he replied firmly. "Whatever she decided, I will accept." Sophia, with a sarcastic smile, chimed in, "Always the good Samaritan, aren't you, Lucas? Let's see if your goodness gets you anywhere today." Their heated exchange was interrupted by the arrival of Mr. Armstrong, the family lawyer. "Good morning, everyone. I know this is a difficult time, but we need to adhere to your mother's instructions," he said, his tone professional yet empathetic. "Please take a seat. We'll begin reading the will." The siblings settled into the leather sofas, each carrying their own mix of expectations and emotions. The mansion, steeped in memories, seemed to breathe with them, reviving old resentments and rivalries. Lucas, looking around, was filled with memories of joyous times spent there, while Peter and Sophia saw only the prospect of increasing their fortunes. Peter reclined, his mind racing with thoughts of wealth and business ventures. Sophia, with her cold ambition, was calculating her next moves. Lucas, however, remained reflective, his heart heavy with the loss of their mother and the hope of finding peace and resolution. As Mr. Armstrong began to read the will, the room grew silent. The weight of Beatrix's legacy hung in the air, a testament to a life of resilience and love. Each word from the lawyer's mouth brought them closer to understanding their mother's final wishes and the true value of her legacy beyond mere wealth. The reading of the will promised to be an event filled with revelations and confrontations, and everyone knew that by the end of that day their lives could change forever. Mr. Armstrong, the family lawyer, adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat before starting to read the will. The living room of the Thompson mansion was silent, except for the soft sound of rain hitting the windows. Lucas, Peter, and Sophia were seated on leather sofas, each with a different expression on their faces. Lucas appeared calm yet alert. Peter was impatient, tapping his fingers on the arm of the sofa, and Sophia maintained a cold, calculating look. "Good morning, everyone," Mr. Armstrong began, his voice deep and solemn. "We are gathered here to honor the last wishes of your mother, Beatrix Thompson. Before we begin, I would like to express my condolences for the loss of such an extraordinary woman." Lucas nodded in appreciation, while Peter and Sophia exchanged impatient glances. "Let's get to the point, Mr. Armstrong." Peter interrupted the silence. "What did our mother leave for us?" Mr. Armstrong shot a stern look at Peter before continuing. "Beatrix was a very wise woman and anticipated that there might be conflicts over the division of her estate. Therefore, she established 2 challenges that you must complete to decide who will inherit her fortune. The siblings exchanged bewildered glances, the air thick with tension. Mr. Armstrong continued, Beatrix wanted to ensure that her legacy would go to the one who truly embodies the values she cherished: strength, resilience, and compassion. The first challenge is a test of your character and integrity. You will each be given a task that reflects these qualities, and you must complete it within a week. Peter's impatience flared. This is absurd. Why can't we just divide the estate equally? Sophia, ever the pragmatist, interjected, What exactly are these tasks, Mr. Armstrong? Mr. Armstrong nodded. Your tasks are written in sealed envelopes, which I will hand to each of you. You must complete your task without the help of others and return here in 1 week to report on your progress. The second challenge will be revealed at that time. As Mr. Armstrong handed out the envelopes, Lucas took his with a solemn nod, Peter snatched his with an air of annoyance, and Sophia accepted hers with a steely determination. The room was charged with unspoken words and unresolved emotions. The mansion, with its rich history and grandeur, seemed to hold its breath as the siblings absorbed the gravity of their mother's final test. The soft patter of rain against the windows mirrored the quiet tension within. Lucas, ever the reflective one, considered his task as a final opportunity to honor his mother's memory. Peter, driven by his desire for wealth and status, viewed the challenge as a mere obstacle to his rightful inheritance. Sophia, with her calculating mind, saw it as a strategic game to be won. Mr. Armstrong's voice broke the silence once more. Remember, your mother believed in each of you and wanted you to prove your worth. This is your chance to show her that her faith was not misplaced. With that, the siblings rose from their seats, each carrying the weight of their task and the promise of their mother's legacy. The day that began with uncertainty and tension ended with a renewed sense of purpose, as each sibling set out to fulfill their mother's final wish. The journey ahead would test their limits, reveal their true characters, and ultimately shape their destinies. Challenges, Sophia exclaimed incredulously. This is ridiculous. We are her children. We should simply divide the inheritance, Peter agreed, shaking his head. Exactly. It makes no sense for us to go through challenges. This is an insult. Lucas, trying to stay calm, intervened. If these are our mother's wishes, we should respect them. She must have had a good reason for this. Mr. Armstrong continued, undeterred by the interruptions. The challenges were designed to test the intelligence and honesty of each of you. Beatrix believed that only someone with these qualities should inherit her fortune. Peter snorted, crossing his arms. This is absurd. I'm her son. I shouldn't have to prove anything. Sophia, with a look of disdain, added, and how exactly are these challenges going to work? What do we have to do? Mr. Armstrong adjusted his glasses and took a deep breath before explaining. Each of you will receive a sealed envelope containing a task that you must complete within the next week. These tasks have been carefully chosen to reflect the values your mother held dear: integrity, resilience, and compassion. You must undertake these tasks independently and without external assistance. Upon completion, you will return here to report your progress, and I will then reveal the second challenge. The room was filled with a mix of disbelief and frustration. Peter, tapping his foot impatiently, demanded, "And what if we refuse to participate in these challenges?" Mr. Armstrong's expression grew stern. "If you choose not to participate, you forfeit your claim to the inheritance. Your mother was very clear in her instructions. This was her way of ensuring that her legacy is honored in the spirit in which she lived." Sophia's eyes narrowed. "Fine, then. Give us these envelopes. Let's get this over with." Mr. Armstrong handed out the envelopes, starting with Lucas, who accepted his with a solemn nod, then Peter, who snatched his with a scowl, and finally Sophia, who took hers with a cold, determined look. As they opened their envelopes, the siblings found themselves faced with tasks that would challenge not just their abilities but their very characters. Lucas read his task with a sense of purpose, understanding the deeper meaning behind his mother's final wishes. Peter grumbled under his breath, already strategizing how to approach the challenge with minimal effort. Sophia's mind raced as she contemplated the best way to succeed. Mr. Armstrong concluded, "Remember, your mother's legacy is not just about wealth. It is about the values she cherished and the person she hoped each of you would become. This is your opportunity to prove her faith in you was well placed." With the weight of their mother's expectations heavy on their shoulders, the siblings left the mansion, each embarking on a journey that would test their core principles. The challenges ahead were not just about claiming an inheritance, but about honoring a legacy built on integrity, strength, and compassion. The path to proving their worth would be fraught with trials, but it was a journey that promised to reveal their true selves and ultimately the rightful heir to Beatrix's fortune. Mr. Armstrong opened an envelope and extracted a document, reading aloud. "The first challenge will take place in dark rooms, where each of you must choose between 3 boxes. 2 contain venomous animals, and 1 is empty. Whoever finds the empty box first, without being bitten, will win the challenge." Peter and Sophia exchanged worried glances, while Lucas remained thoughtful. And the second challenge asked Lucas, trying to understand the logic behind the tests. "The second challenge will be a mirror maze," explained Mr. Armstrong. "You must find the exit in the shortest possible time. These challenges are not only tests of courage, but also of intelligence and decision-making under pressure." Sophia rolled her eyes. "This is a waste of time, but if it's what we need to do to get the inheritance, then let's just get it over with." Peter, still indignant, muttered, "I hope this doesn't take long. I have more important things to do." Lucas, on the other hand, felt a surge of determination. He knew these challenges were more than mere tests. They were a final lesson from his mother, an opportunity to prove his worth and honor her legacy. "I'm ready," he stated firmly. "Let's begin." Mr. Armstrong nodded, pleased with Lucas's response. "Very well. Let's prepare for the first challenge. May luck be with all of you." The tension in the room rose, and the siblings stood up, ready to face the challenges that would determine the future of Beatrix's estate. Each knew that by the end of these tests, their lives could change forever. As they moved towards the designated area for the first challenge, the weight of their mother's expectations and the gravity of the situation began to sink in. The dark rooms were set up in the basement of the mansion, each illuminated only by the faint light seeping through cracks in the walls. The atmosphere was thick with suspense and fear. Peter, always the skeptic, grumbled, "This is ridiculous. I can't believe we're doing this." Sophia, masking her fear with determination, retorted, "Just focus on finding the empty box and getting through this." Lucas, however, felt a profound sense of purpose. He knew that his mother had designed these challenges not just to test their bravery but to reveal their true characters under pressure. He took a deep breath, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The siblings were each led to their respective dark rooms. The doors closed behind them with a heavy thud, leaving them alone in near darkness. The boxes were placed at the far end of the rooms, barely visible in the dim light. Each step they took echoed ominously, heightening the sense of dread. Lucas approached his boxes with careful deliberation, his mind racing through the possible outcomes. He knew that panic would be his worst enemy. He needed to stay calm, trust his instincts, and choose wisely. Peter, on the other hand, tried to rush the process, his impatience getting the better of him. Sophia, with her sharp mind, analyzed the situation, looking for any signs that might indicate which box was safe. The minutes felt like hours as they made their choices. Lucas, after a moment of silent reflection, reached out and opened one of the boxes. It was empty. A wave of relief washed over him, but he knew the challenge was far from over. Peter and Sophia, meanwhile, were not as fortunate. Peter narrowly avoided a bite, while Sophia's hand shook as she opened her box, only to find it empty as well. The siblings reconvened, their nerves frayed, but their resolve strengthened. Mr. Armstrong observed their progress with a mix of admiration and anticipation. "Congratulations on completing the first challenge," he said. "Now, we move on to the mirror maze." The maze was set up in the mansion's grand ballroom, transformed into a labyrinth of reflective surfaces. The walls seemed to stretch endlessly, creating a disorienting environment designed to test their perception and decision-making skills. "Remember, Mr. Armstrong instructed, the goal is to find the exit as quickly as possible. Trust your instincts and stay focused." As they entered the maze, each sibling carried the lessons of the first challenge with them. Lucas moved with a calm determination, Peter with a sense of urgency, and Sophia with calculated precision. The mirrors distorted their reflections, creating countless illusions and false paths. Lucas found himself reflecting on his mother's teachings, her words guiding him through the maze. He knew that this was not just about finding the exit, but about understanding the deeper meaning behind the challenges. Peter, frustrated by the deceptive reflections, struggled to maintain his composure. His impatience led him down several wrong paths, increasing his frustration. Sophia, with her analytical mind, methodically tested each path, carefully considering her options. After what felt like an eternity, Lucas emerged from the maze, his heart pounding but his spirit unwavering. He was soon followed by Sophia, who had used her sharp intellect to navigate the twists and turns. Peter, despite his setbacks, eventually found his way out as well, his frustration tempered by a newfound respect for the challenges. Mr. Armstrong greeted them at the exit, his expression one of quiet satisfaction. "You have all shown great resilience and determination," he said. "Your mother would be proud." The siblings stood together, their differences momentarily set aside by the shared experience. They had faced their fears, tested their limits, and emerged stronger. The challenges had not only determined the future of Beatrix's estate, but it also brought them closer to understanding the true essence of her legacy. As they left the mansion, each sibling carried with them a deeper appreciation for their mother's wisdom and a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges had changed them, revealing their true selves and solidifying their place in their mother's enduring legacy. The siblings were led by Mr. Armstrong and his assistants through the dark corridors of the mansion to a seldom-used wing where 3 dark rooms awaited. The atmosphere was oppressive, with the sound of rain intensifying the sense of isolation and tension. The walls, covered with ancient tapestries, seemed to absorb any sound, creating an almost deafening silence. "Each of you will enter a different room," explained Mr. Armstrong, holding a flashlight that cast dancing shadows on the walls. "I will review the instructions for this challenge. Inside each room there are 3 boxes. 2 contain venomous animals and 1 is empty. You must find the empty box to win the challenge." Peter, still disgruntled, with a smirk of disdain, commented, "This is ridiculous." As if choosing between boxes is a test of intelligence, Sophia, with a look of concern, added, "And if we get bitten, this is too dangerous." Mr. Armstrong replied firmly, "There are antidotes ready and a medical team on standby. But remember, this is a test of courage and intelligence, as your mother wished." Lucas, keeping calm, looked at his siblings and said, "Let's just do what needs to be done. Our mother had her reasons. Each was led to a separate room. As Lucas entered, he felt the cold, damp air of the environment. The darkness was complete, and he could barely see his own hand in front of him. Feeling around in the dark, he found the 3 boxes. "Think, Lucas, think," he murmured to himself. He knew his mother would not do something so cruel without a reason. It was then that he had a flash of insight. He recalled a lesson his mother had taught him about intuition and trusting his instincts. Taking a deep breath, he closed his eyes and let his other senses guide him. He focused on the subtle differences he could detect by touch and sound. In the pitch-black room, Lucas felt the surface of each box, paying attention to the weight and any vibrations. He noticed that 2 of the boxes seemed slightly heavier and had a faint rustling sound inside, while the 3rd was lighter and completely silent. Trusting his intuition, Lucas chose the lighter, silent box and opened it slowly, his heart pounding. It was empty. He let out a sigh of relief, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Meanwhile, in their respective rooms, Peter and Sophia were grappling with their own fears and uncertainties. Peter, frustrated and impatient, hastily chose a box without careful consideration, narrowly avoiding a bite from a venomous snake. Sophia, trying to remain calm, carefully analyzed her options, eventually selecting the correct box through logical deduction and a bit of luck. As they emerged from their dark rooms, each sibling was greeted by Mr. Armstrong. "Congratulations on completing the first challenge," he said. "You have all demonstrated courage and quick thinking." Peter and Sophia, though relieved to have passed, were still skeptical about the necessity of such tests. Lucas, however, felt a deeper connection to his mother's intentions, understanding that these challenges were designed to push them beyond their comfort zones and reveal their true strengths. "Now, we move on to the second challenge, Mr. Armstrong announced, leading them to the grand ballroom, which had been transformed into a labyrinth of mirrors. The walls of the maze stretched endlessly, reflecting countless versions of the siblings, creating an environment that was as disorienting as it was challenging. The second challenge is to navigate this mirror maze and find the exit as quickly as possible. This test is designed to assess your problem-solving skills and your ability to stay calm under pressure, Mr. Armstrong explained. The siblings entered the maze, each taking a different path. Lucas moved with a quiet determination, his mother's lessons echoing in his mind. He knew that finding the exit was not just about speed, but also about maintaining focus and clarity. Peter, driven by impatience, stumbled through the maze, frustrated by the endless reflections that led him astray. Sophia, with her sharp mind, methodically tested each path, using logic and careful observation to find her way. After what felt like an eternity, Lucas emerged from the maze, his heart pounding but his spirit unwavering. He was soon followed by Sophia, who had used her analytical skills to navigate the twists and turns. Peter, despite his setbacks, eventually found his way out, his frustration tempered by a newfound respect for the challenges. Mr. Armstrong greeted them at the exit, his expression one of quiet satisfaction. "You have all shown great resilience and determination," he said. "Your mother would be proud." The siblings stood together, their differences momentarily set aside by the shared experience. They had faced their fears, tested their limits, and emerged stronger. The challenges had not only determined the future of Beatrix's estate, but had also brought them closer to understanding the true essence of her legacy. As they left the mansion, each sibling carried with them a deeper appreciation for their mother's wisdom and a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges had changed them, revealing their true selves and solidifying their place in their mother's enduring legacy. Meanwhile, in the room next door, Peter was growing increasingly impatient. "This is a waste of time," he grumbled, impulsively opening one of the boxes. A scream of pain echoed down the corridor when he was bitten by a scorpion. "Damn, that hurts." Sophia, in the third room, was trembling with fear. "I can't do this," she whispered. but the pressure to win the inheritance drove her to act. She opened a box and, in an instant, felt the bite of a snake. "Help! I've been bitten." Lucas, hearing his siblings' screams, remained calm. He approached the room's door and, with a gentle push, realized it was unlocked. Of course, he thought. Mom wanted us to think beyond the obvious choices. He quickly opened the door and stepped out, finding Mr. Armstrong in the corridor. "You did it, Lucas, Mr. Armstrong said with a smile of approval. "You passed the first challenge. Peter and Sophia, injured, were quickly attended to by the lawyer's assistants." Peter, with a contorted face of pain, looked at Lucas angrily. "How did you get out so quickly?" Lucas calmly replied, "The door was never locked. Mom wanted us to think beyond the boxes." Sophia, still in shock, murmured, "This is insane. How did we not realize?" Mr. Armstrong, observing the scene, said, "This was just the first test. Your mother wanted you to learn to look beyond appearances and to use intelligence in high-pressure situations. Let's prepare for the next challenge." As the medical team treated Peter and Sophia, Lucas took a moment to reflect on the lesson his mother had intended. He understood that the challenge was about more than just courage. It was about thinking critically and not being blinded by fear or haste. Once Peter and Sophia were stable, Mr. Armstrong led the siblings to the grand ballroom for the second challenge. The room had been transformed into a labyrinth of mirrors, each reflection distorting reality and creating an intricate maze. The second challenge is to navigate this mirror maze and find the exit in the shortest possible time, Mr. Armstrong explained. "This test will assess your problem-solving skills and ability to stay calm under pressure." Peter, still nursing his wound in frustration, grumbled. "Another pointless exercise." Sophia, though shaken, was determined to prove herself. Lucas, having already gained insight from the first challenge, felt more prepared. As they entered the maze, the disorienting reflections played tricks on their senses. Lucas moved methodically, using his reflection as a guide but also trusting his intuition. He remembered his mother's lessons about looking beyond the surface and staying focused. Peter, driven by his impatience and desire to win, found himself repeatedly hitting dead ends, his frustration growing with each wrong turn. Sophia, her analytical mind in overdrive, tried to map out the maze logically, but the endless reflections made it difficult. After what seemed like an eternity, Lucas emerged from the maze first, his heart pounding but his mind clear. He had stayed calm and used his instincts to navigate the twists and turns. Sophia followed soon after, her determination paying off. Peter, despite his setbacks, eventually found his way out, his anger tempered by the realization that these challenges were more than just obstacles, they were lessons. Mr. Armstrong greeted them at the exit, his expression one of quiet satisfaction. "You have all shown great resilience and determination," he said. "Your mother would be proud." The siblings stood together, their differences momentarily set aside by the shared experience. They had faced their fears, tested their limits, and emerged stronger. The challenges had not only determined the future of Beatrix's estate, but had also brought them closer to understanding the true essence of her legacy. As they left the mansion, each sibling carried with them a deeper appreciation for their mother's wisdom and a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges had changed them, revealing their true selves and solidifying their place in their mother's enduring legacy. The siblings, still shaken, knew the next test would be even more challenging. The tension among them grew, and the mansion, with its secrets and memories, seemed to silently watch as the fate of Beatrix's estate unfolded. The second challenge was announced by Mr. Armstrong with a solemn tone. "Now you will face a mirror maze. The one who finds the exit in the shortest time will be the winner of this challenge." Peter and Sophia exchanged complicit looks as they headed to the entrance of the maze. "We need to make sure Lucas doesn't win," Peter whispered with a malicious smile. "Let's mark the correct path and alter some mirrors to confuse him." Sophia nodded. determined. "Leave it to me. We'll make it look like an accident." Lucas, oblivious to the conspiracy, was focused on winning the challenge fairly. "I'm ready," he said confidently. Peter was the first to enter the maze. He proceeded carefully, discreetly marking the correct path with small scratches on the mirrors. After a few minutes, he found the exit and emerged with a satisfied smile. "Good luck, Sophia," he said, winking at his sister. Sophia entered next, following the marks left by Peter. Midway, she began to alter the position of some mirrors, creating false paths and dead ends. "This should delay him enough," she murmured, completing the challenge in record time. Finally, it was Lucas's turn. He stepped into the maze, his mind clear and focused. As he navigated the labyrinth, he noticed the subtle marks on the mirrors and the oddly placed reflections. Sensing something amiss, he decided to rely more on his instincts than the visible clues. He recalled his mother's lessons about looking beyond appearances and trusting his inner judgment. Lucas moved cautiously, avoiding the paths that seemed too obvious. His keen observation and intuition guided him through the deceptive maze. Despite the traps set by his siblings, he remained calm and persistent. He felt a deep connection to his mother's teachings, which gave him the strength to push forward. Peter and Sophia watched anxiously as the minutes ticked by. They exchanged nervous glances, hoping their plan would work. But to their dismay, Lucas emerged from the maze, slightly disoriented but triumphant. "Mr. Armstrong greeted them all at the exit, his expression serious. "You have all completed the second challenge, but it's clear that some of you chose to dishonor your mother's memory by trying to manipulate the outcome." Peter and Sophia's faces fell, guilt and embarrassment washing over them. "Mr. Armstrong continued, "Beatrix's intention was to test your integrity, not just your ability to navigate a maze. Lucas, despite the obstacles, you remained true to your mother's values. You are the rightful winner of this challenge." Lucas felt a mix of relief and pride. He had honored his mother's legacy by staying true to her principles. Peter and Sophia, on the other hand, realized the gravity of their actions and the disappointment they had caused. "Mr. Armstrong concluded, there is one final task, but before we proceed, I urge you all to reflect on what Beatrix truly valued: honesty, integrity, and resilience. These challenges were meant to bring out the best in you, not to pit you against one another." The siblings, chastened by Mr. Armstrong's words, understood the importance of the lessons their mother had intended. As they prepared for the final challenge, they carried with them a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper respect for their mother's wisdom. The journey ahead would test their character once more, but now they were ready to face it with unity and integrity. Finally, it was Lucas's turn. He entered the maze with determination but soon realized something was wrong. "These mirrors, something isn't right," he thought aloud. He followed the marks but increasingly found himself on paths that led nowhere. "Damn, this doesn't make sense." Meanwhile, outside, Peter and Sophia watched with satisfied smiles. "He'll never make it out," said Peter, laughing. After several failed attempts, Lucas began to feel the weight of the cheating. "This is impossible," he said, exasperated. "Someone help me. I'm stuck." Mr. Armstrong, hearing Lucas's cries, activated the rescue team. "Let's get him out of there," he said, looking concerned. When Lucas was finally rescued, he was visibly shaken. "They cheated," he said, looking directly at Peter and Sophia. "I know you did something." Peter, with a fake smile, replied, "We don't know what you're talking about, Lucas." "Maybe you're just not as good as you think," Sophia, feigning innocence, added, "Yes, Lucas. Maybe you should accept that you can't always win." Mr. Armstrong, observing the interaction, knew something was wrong but decided to wait for the right moment to act. "Let's gather for the final announcement," he said. leading the siblings back to the meeting room. The younger siblings' cheating seemed to have worked, but the truth was yet to come. In the final meeting, the atmosphere was charged with tension. Peter and Sophia were eager to sign the documents that would make them the heirs to Beatrix's fortune. Lucas, on the other hand, was downtrodden but determined to uncover the truth. Mr. Armstrong began to organize the papers on the table. "All right, we are ready for the signing of the documents," he announced in a formal tone. "Peter and Sophia, please step forward." Peter, with a triumphant smile, picked up the pen. "Finally, all this fortune will be ours," he whispered to Sophia, who nodded with a gleam of satisfaction in her eyes. Just as Peter was about to sign, Mr. Armstrong raised his hand. "Wait a moment. Before you sign, there's something important I need to reveal." The room fell silent, and the tension was palpable. Peter and Sophia exchanged nervous glances, while Lucas looked on with cautious hope. "Mr. Armstrong continued, during the maze challenge, we noticed some irregularities. Our team reviewed the security footage and found evidence of tampering. Peter and Sophia, you altered the maze to hinder Lucas's progress." Peter's face turned pale, and he stammered, "We didn't do anything wrong. This is a misunderstanding." Sophia, trying to maintain her composure, said, "There must be some mistake. We followed the rules." "Mr. Armstrong shook his head. "The evidence is clear. Beatrix anticipated that there might be attempts to undermine the integrity of these challenges. That's why she left specific instructions for such situations." He pulled out another document from his briefcase. "According to Beatrix's wishes, if any of her children are found to have cheated during the challenges, they forfeit their claim to the inheritance. The remaining estate will be given to the one who remained honest." Peter and Sophia were stunned into silence. Lucas, though still shaken, felt a sense of vindication. "Mr. Armstrong turned to him and said, "Lucas, despite the attempts to sabotage you, you showed true integrity. You are the rightful heir to Beatrix's fortune." Tears welled up in Lucas's eyes as he realized the enormity of what had just happened. "Thank you, Mr. Armstrong," he said quietly, his voice filled with gratitude. Mr. Armstrong nodded. "Your mother was wise and just. She wanted to ensure that her legacy would be honored by someone who truly embodies her values." Peter and Sophia, their dreams of easy wealth shattered, stood in stunned silence as Lucas stepped forward to sign the documents. The once tense and contentious atmosphere shifted as the truth came to light. As Lucas signed the papers, securing his mother's estate, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Beatrix's challenges had not only tested his character, but had also brought him closer to understanding the depth of her wisdom and love. With the signing complete, Mr. Armstrong concluded, "Congratulations, Lucas. Your mother would be proud." The siblings, now faced with the consequences of their actions, left the mansion with heavy hearts. Lucas, however, walked away with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper appreciation for his mother's legacy. The challenges had revealed the true essence of Beatrix's values, and Lucas was determined to honor them in every aspect of his life. However, before Peter could sign, the door to the room burst open. A tall man with a commanding presence entered, his eyes blazing with determination. "Stop immediately," he ordered, his voice echoing through the room. Everyone turned, surprised. "Who are you?" asked Mr. Armstrong, confused. "My name is Michael," the man replied while walking up to the table. "I was a close friend of Beatrix, and she entrusted me to ensure her inheritance was distributed fairly." Peter and Sophia exchanged nervous glances. "What are you doing here?" Peter asked, trying to maintain his composure. Michael ignored the question and placed a laptop on the table. "I have evidence that Peter and Sophia cheated in the challenges," he declared, opening the laptop and connecting it to a projector. "That's ridiculous." exclaimed Sophia, trying to disguise her nervousness. "You can't prove anything." Michael clicked on a video, and the images began to project on the wall. The video clearly showed Peter marking the mirrors in the maze and Sophia altering the positions of the mirrors to confuse Lucas. The voices of the siblings conspiring were audible and unmistakable. "This is a setup," shouted Peter, desperate. "It can't be real." Michael looked directly at Peter and Sophia. "Beatrix knew you might try something dishonest. She asked me to monitor the challenges and ensure that the truth prevailed. She installed cameras in the places where we conducted the tests." The room fell silent as the evidence played out in front of everyone. Mr. Armstrong watched the footage with a stern expression. "This confirms the suspicions I had," he said, turning to Peter and Sophia. "Your actions have not only dishonored your mother's memory, but have also disqualified you from the inheritance." Peter, realizing the gravity of the situation, tried to plead his case. "We were desperate. We didn't mean to. Please, you have to understand." Sophia, with tears in her eyes, added, "We were wrong, but don't take everything from us." Mr. Armstrong shook his head. "The terms of the will are clear. Cheating disqualifies you from any claim to the estate. Lucas is the rightful heir." Lucas, still processing the turn of events, looked at Michael with gratitude. "Thank you for ensuring the truth came out," he said. Michael nodded. "Beatrix was a dear friend, and she wanted her legacy to be preserved by someone who truly deserved it. She believed in you, Lucas." With the evidence clear and the rightful heir established, Mr. Armstrong proceeded with the final steps. "Lucas, please come forward to sign the documents," he instructed. As Lucas signed the papers, securing his mother's estate, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Beatrix's challenges had not only tested his character, but it also brought him closer to understanding the depth of her wisdom and love. Mr. Armstrong concluded, "Congratulations, Lucas. Your mother would be proud." Peter and Sophia, now faced with the consequences of their actions, left the mansion with heavy hearts, realizing the gravity of their betrayal. Lucas, however, walked away with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper appreciation for his mother's legacy. The challenges had revealed the true essence of Beatrix's values, and Lucas was determined to honor them in every aspect of his life. As he exited the mansion, the rain had stopped, and the clouds began to part, allowing a ray of sunlight to shine through. It felt like a sign of new beginnings, a promise that he would carry his mother's legacy forward with integrity and honor. When she passed away, Lucas, who had been watching in silence, finally spoke. "I knew something was wrong. You never played fair at that moment, Mr." Armstrong could not believe the cheating that Peter and Sophia had committed against their own brother. Sophia, with a trembling voice, tried to argue. "But we also wanted to honor our mother and claim our share of the inheritance, and we knew Lucas was the smartest. We wouldn't have a chance." "Honor our mother," Lucas interrupted, his voice laden with emotion. "You cheated and conspired against me. That's not honoring her memory." Mr. Armstrong nodded, agreeing with Lucas. Beatrix knew that true wealth isn't just in money but in integrity and character. She wanted the inheritance to go to someone who could continue her legacy in a fair and honest manner. Michael concluded, looking at everyone in the room. "And that person is Lucas. He has proven to be worthy of Beatrix's trust and love. The inheritance will be his as per his mother's wish, and I will read the will to prove your mother's intent." The room fell silent as Peter and Sophia, speechless, finally understood the depth of their actions and their mother's true intentions. Mr. Armstrong, with a solemn air, held Beatrix's will in his hands. The room was silent, everyone anxiously awaiting the final words that would seal the fate of the inheritance. He began to read, his voice echoing through the room. "I, Beatrix, declare that my fortune should be inherited by someone honest and pure-hearted, someone who can continue my legacy with integrity and justice. As Mr. Armstrong continued, the words of the will left no room for ambiguity. To my beloved children, know that this decision was made with deep reflection and love. My hope is that you will all grow to understand the true meaning of honor and integrity. Lucas, you have shown these qualities, and it is my wish that you inherit my estate to continue the values I cherished. Peter and Sophia, now fully grasping the gravity of their actions, stood in silent remorse. The realization that their mother had anticipated their behavior and had taken steps to ensure fairness left them with a profound sense of shame. Lucas, though hurt by his siblings' betrayal, felt a sense of closure. He had proven his worth not just in the eyes of his mother but also to himself. "Thank you, Mr. Armstrong, Michael, and everyone who helped ensure my mother's true wishes were honored," he said, his voice steady. Mr. Armstrong nodded. "Lucas, your mother's legacy is now in your hands. She believed in you, and it is clear why." As the formalities concluded, the atmosphere in the room shifted. Peter and Sophia, though disheartened, approached Lucas. "We were wrong," Peter admitted. "We let our greed cloud our judgment. We hope you can forgive us one day." Sophia, her eyes filled with tears, added, "We're sorry, Lucas. We should have trusted in our mother's wisdom and your integrity." Lucas, though still processing the betrayal, knew that forgiveness was part of the legacy his mother would want him to uphold. "I forgive you both. Let's honor our mother's memory by learning from this and moving forward together." With those words, the siblings began to heal, their mother's final lesson resonating deeply within them. Beatrix's estate was settled, but more importantly, her values of integrity, honesty, and love were firmly implanted in the hearts of her children. Peter and Sophia, sitting side by side, exchanged nervous glances. Lucas, with a racing heart, listened attentively, feeling his mother's presence in every word. Mr. Armstrong continued, "If any of my children act dishonestly during the challenges, they will be disqualified and will not be entitled to the inheritance, Mr. Armstrong went on, "Therefore, due to cheating, Peter and Sophia are disqualified. The inheritance will be granted to Lucas, who has proven himself worthy of his mother's trust and love." Lucas, with tears in his eyes, slowly stood up. "I don't know what to say. Mom always taught me to be fair and honest. I promise to honor her memory and use this inheritance for noble causes, helping those who need it most." Peter, with evident anger, shouted, "This is unfair. We are her children," to Sophia, with a choked voice, tried to argue. "Lucas, please think of us." Lucas looked at his siblings, his expression firm yet filled with compassion. "I am thinking of you, but I am also thinking of what is right. Mom wanted this inheritance to be used for good, and that is what I will do." Mr. Armstrong concluded, "The decision has been made. Lucas is the sole heir to Beatrix's fortune." The room fell silent as the truth of Beatrix's words resonated in everyone's hearts. Lucas, now the legitimate heir, felt the weight of responsibility, but also the honor of continuing his mother's legacy with dignity and love. The room's tension eased slightly as the finality of the situation settled in. Peter and Sophia, though still grappling with their disappointment and anger, began to realize the fairness of their mother's decision. They exchanged looks that reflected a mixture of remorse and acceptance. Lucas approached his siblings, his voice soft but resolute. "This inheritance is not just about money. It's about upholding the values Mom lived by. I want to make sure it helps others and creates a lasting impact. You can still be part of that legacy, but we have to do it right." Peter, his anger subsiding, nodded slowly. I suppose we lost sight of what really matters. I'm sorry, Lucas." Sophia, tears streaming down her face, whispered, We just wanted to be recognized and to share in her legacy, but we went about it the wrong way. I'm sorry too." Lucas embraced his siblings, feeling the weight of their collective grief and guilt. We can still honor her together. Let's make sure her legacy is something we can all be proud of. Mr. Armstrong, witnessing the reconciliation, smiled warmly. "Beatrix would be proud of all of you right now. Remember, it's never too late to make things right and live by the values she cherished." With the inheritance officially settled, Lucas took on the role of steward of Beatrix's estate, determined to use it for noble causes. He involved Peter and Sophia in planning charitable initiatives, ensuring that they too had a role in honoring their mother's memory. The siblings, once divided by greed and jealousy, found a new bond through their shared commitment to doing good. Beatrix's legacy, upheld by their unity and dedication to integrity, began to flourish in ways that touched many lives. And so the Thompson family's story, marked by challenges and redemption, became a testament to the enduring power of love, honesty, and the profound impact of living a life guided by noble principles. Now in possession of his mother's inheritance, Lucas dedicated himself to transforming the fortune into a legacy of positive impact. Lucas chose not to leave anything to his siblings, as they had shown no consideration and had resorted to cheating to try to defeat him. Therefore, Lucas invested in social projects that he always believed were essential for building a fairer society. "Let's make a difference," just as Mom always wanted, he would say to his collaborators. He founded schools in needy communities, providing quality education to children who previously had no access. "Education is the key to a better future," Lucas would affirm at each inauguration, with a hopeful smile on his face. Additionally, he established free health clinics, offering essential medical care to those who could not afford it. "No one should be deprived of basic medical care," he declared while cutting the ribbon at yet another clinic. Lucas also implemented community support programs, such as professional training centers and entrepreneurship initiatives. "I want everyone to have the chance to thrive," he explained, encouraging both young and old to seek new opportunities. Years passed, and Lucas saw the fruits of his labor flourish. However, Peter and Sophia, who had squandered their own opportunities, were facing financial difficulties. One day they decided to approach Lucas, hoping to get help. "Lucas, we need to talk to you," said Peter, with a hesitant tone, entering his brother's office. Sophia, with eyes full of regret, added, "We are going through a tough time. Could you help us financially?" Lucas, sitting behind his desk, looked at his siblings with compassion. "I understand your situation," he began, "but giving you money won't solve the problems in the long run." Peter, frustrated, asked, "Then what do you suggest?" Lucas smiled gently. "I want to offer you a chance to work at my companies. You can learn new skills and at the same time earn what you need honestly." Sophia, surprised, asked, "Would you really do that for us?" "Yes," Lucas replied firmly. "I want you to learn to value your own effort and to build something significant. Mom always believed in the power of honest work, and so do I." Peter and Sophia, moved, accepted the offer. "Thank you, Lucas. We promise not to let you down," they said in unison. Lucas nodded, satisfied. "Let's start a new journey together. There is still much to do, and I want us to do it as a family." With Peter and Sophia joining Lucas's ventures, they began to learn the true value of hard work and integrity. Lucas placed them in roles where they could develop skills and contribute meaningfully to the projects. Over time, they started to see the impact of their efforts on the communities they served. Peter took on the responsibility of managing the logistics for the new schools and clinics, ensuring that resources were distributed efficiently. As he saw the smiles on the children's faces and heard stories of lives saved at the clinics, his perspective on wealth and success began to change. Sophia, with her sharp mind and creativity, spearheaded the entrepreneurship initiatives, helping to develop programs that empowered individuals to start their own businesses. She found joy in mentoring budding entrepreneurs and witnessing their growth. Their initial reluctance and resentment faded as they immersed themselves in the work. They began to understand the depth of their mother's wisdom and the importance of the values she had tried to instill in them. Their relationship with Lucas also healed, built now on mutual respect and shared goals. The transformation was not easy, but it was genuine. Peter and Sophia, once driven by greed, found a new sense of purpose. They were no longer just beneficiaries of their mother's fortune, they were active participants in her legacy. Lucas, seeing the positive change in his siblings, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He knew his mother would be proud of them all. Together they continued to expand the social projects, reaching more communities and touching more lives. In the end, the Thompson family's story became a powerful testament to the enduring impact of integrity, hard work, and the unbreakable bonds of family. Through their collective efforts, And so Peter and Sophia began working at Lucas's companies, learning the importance of integrity and effort. The family, despite past differences, found a new balance, united by Beatrice's legacy and Lucas's determination to do good. On their first day of work, Lucas greeted Peter and Sophia at the entrance of the company with a welcoming smile. "Welcome. I'm glad you decided to take this step," he said, extending his hand. Peter, still somewhat skeptical, shook his brother's hand. "Thank you, Lucas. We'll do our best," Sophia, with a look of determination, added, "Yes, we are ready to learn and change." But Lucas led them through the office, introducing them to colleagues and explaining their roles. "Peter, you will start in the logistics department. It's a job that requires organization and attention to detail. Sophia, you will be in the marketing sector, where your creativity will be very useful." The first few days were challenging. Peter, accustomed to having everything in life, struggled to adapt to the work pace. "This is harder than I imagined," he confessed to Lucas during a coffee break. Lucas patiently replied, "I know it's tough at the beginning, Peter, but remember, honest work brings a satisfaction that easy money can never provide." Sophia, on the other hand, found a new purpose in her work. "I never thought I could enjoy creating campaigns and seeing the results so much," she said excitedly during a team meeting. Over time, Peter and Sophia began to understand the value of integrity and effort. They became more humble and dedicated, earning the respect of their colleagues. "You're doing very well," Peter praised a supervisor. "Your organization has greatly improved our workflow." Sophia, in turn, received compliments for her innovative ideas. "Your last campaign was a success, Sophia." "Congratulations," said Lucas, proud. The family, despite past differences, found a new balance. At Sunday dinners, there were now laughs and sincere conversations. "I'm proud of you," said Lucas, raising a toast. "Mom would be happy to see how we've grown together." Peter and Sophia, with eyes shining with gratitude, responded in unison, "Thank you, Lucas. You've shown us the true value of life." Lucas continued to inspire with his generosity and wisdom, and the siblings, now more humble, rebuilt their lives with dignity and mutual respect. Together, they honored Beatrice's legacy, transforming the inheritance into a symbol of unity and growth. Want access to more stories like this? Click the link in the pinned comment below and find out how. Did you like the story? I'm sure the next one on your screen will also move you. Don't forget to leave a like, and see you next time. What an inspiring journey we've been on. From the moment the elderly matriarch Beatrice passed away, through the shocking revelations during the will reading, to the transformation of her family, we've seen how integrity, honesty, and hard work can truly change lives. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What have you learned from this story? Please comment below on one lesson you will bring into your own life. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more meaningful stories to you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.